Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Boy, I tell you what, summer is definitely here, at least in theory anyway, because it's warm. It is warm outside here anyway. I'm sweating my butt off. Anyway, thank you for coming. Tonight we're going to have a kind of spur-of-the-moment show because I said so. But it's just going to be fun. I don't have to work tonight. At least I didn't think I do. And I'm not on call, so life is good. Thank you all for joining me tonight. And what are we going to do? We are going to just play it by ear. But I got some really cool stuff. I got what do I got? Oh, I got Farm Show. I don't know if you ever heard about Farm Show. The Farm Show magazine. So I ordered the Farm Show magazine because I love all the cool stuff that they do. They have people from all around the country who show up and send in articles about all the fun things they do to their gardens, inventions that they made, things like that. So I ordered like 20 years worth of Farm Show magazine, and I'm going to share it tonight. At least we'll probably get through a year or two of it with all of you. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Lucky Stone is in the house and Amber Dawn Rising. Yep, we're having a good day. And Lucky, you're off. Well, you got a week vacation maybe, huh? Anyway, hopefully we can get together, maybe do a show or two, because I would like to know a few things, and we can talk. Maybe we'll talk about little things like, how YouTube's going to cancel us all because we said something 3 years ago, right? Hey, and Grumpy Sack's in the house. One of those guys I would like to really get a hold of and have him come on the show because, it is summer and we're going to be eating out of the garden, and I'm going to be picking my first radishes out of the garden as of tomorrow. So I'm going to videotape that for all of you and share that because, hey, what's gardening without picking some vegetables? And we get to, have the vegetables, eat the vegetables. There is Pearl Jones. Thank you for coming. I seen your short little video of the sign language, the sign language thing. That was pretty cool. I would love to learn sign language. That would be kind of neat. Anyway, let's do it this Wednesday night. We'll be good. You're on. I will send you an email or whatever. Wednesday night. I have off Wednesday night. Sounds good. We'll be right on after Nina's hump day message. Then that would be good. Would be good. I'd like to know a little bit about weight loss. I gained a few pounds over the winter myself. I would like to know, about eating vegetables. I would like to know what do I do to get pumped up? We're just having fun here, people. That's usually the best shows, just have fun. Yes, I got a community strike for a 3-year-old video. The video was posted exactly 3 years ago tomorrow. Yes. How does that happen? Like, they just seen it now, They just seen your thing and said, hey, he said something 3 years ago. I mean, there's got to be, they need to put time limits on it or something, because that's just ridiculous. And if that's true, they'll be going through all our stuff. I imagine we're all going to get strikes. And who knows? We might be having to go to backup channels. So, and that is quite the thing. Maybe start a backup channel. Remember, all my videos are saved on Odyssey. So if nothing else, we may have to go live on Odyssey. That might be the new stomping grounds. Never know. Anyway, and I would encourage you, Lucky, to back up all your stuff on the Odyssey channel. It's probably better and easier than downloading all your videos and things on a hard drive and then trying to upload it to another place. But you never know. I mean, routine, I haven't worked this hard. It's under control. Oh, I gained a little bit. Well, you got to gain it. You lose it, you gain it back. You kind of even out. It's all good. I believe AI's analysis on my video. Yes. We should talk a little about I swallowed a little bit wrong. There's Kiki. A little bit of tea. Oh, yeah. But anyway, Amber, I'll be breaking into the wine soon. So anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, let's see. So we're gonna go to the Farm Show magazine. Like I said, I had this. Where do I want to go like that? And I want to present. So I really do enjoy all of you, and I am going to make this as entertaining as possible because, hey, you know, why not? I hope all you can see this in a second. Present. I got pizza cooking in the oven. Maybe I don't want to talk all night, but, you know, and if any one of you want to come in and join me and talk about some of this stuff, would be fine with me. If you got any ideas. Oh shoot, here, hang on. You know, so here's the thing. So like, you got it. Have you made anything? Do you have any ideas? What did you do in your garden? Did you ever make something? You know, and then like you know, put it together. You know, invent it out of your own brain. Did you channel this stuff? Did you really need something done and then do it? And, you know, that could have been a thing. So if you want to come on and join me and talk about this stuff, or if you have any idea about farm equipment, you know, let me know. I posted in the thing, and any comments will be great. And here we're going to go to presenting things, share screen. Because you know what? I like this stuff. I built lots of things, welding, bolting it together, making stuff out of wood, you name it, I've done it. There we go. This is better. Look at that. So tonight, look, we're going to go through some of these things. This book has been fascinating, and I managed to get it on, you know, PDF kind of style, and we could scroll through this thing for hours if we had to. We might do 2 or 3 shows. If you guys enjoy this stuff, it's just cool to see what other people make. Like this guy here, he made a 3-bale mover for cleaning his fields. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And he's got spikes. He just picks up 3 bales at a time. Now, I know this isn't spiritual stuff, and it's not, you know, stuff out of, you know, the ethereal, but it is. It really is. Somebody had channeled this. They needed an idea, and they came up with these ideas for an invention. And where did they get these ideas from? You know, who thinks of this stuff? He's got some stuff laying around, and you know, maybe this will bring back some memories of back in the day when Grandpa and Grandma had a farm, or your uncle, or you went and visited a place, or maybe you got your own farm. Maybe you did your own things. So let's scroll down. Bale movers. If you want me to read something, or you find something really interesting, you know, let me know, and I will read it off a little more than just kind of browse through it. Here, made it myself. Rakes in the rocks. You know, maybe sometime you just see this stuff and you go, wow, that's a pretty cool idea. You know, and maybe somebody else can use this idea. Now you have the idea. So you get where I'm going with this? Anyway, look at this. It mounts on the skid steer. It sifts the rocks out and leaves the dirt and collects the rocks, and then you can take them home and make yourself a rock bed. This guy here, he put a motor with a couple of, looks like motorcycle wheels or bicycle tires, and a little 3-horse Briggs & Stratton motor attached to an old furnace squirrel fan. It says made a mobile blower from a furnace squirrel cage fan and a 2-horsepower motor, some scrap parts. Works great to burn stump piles and keep other fires burning that might otherwise go out. John, a loader, Redmond, Washington. Okay, we got a bulldozer. Ain't that cool? Who didn't like to play with those kinds of things when they were kids? Let's say a new song. Okay. But anyway, oh, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, sorry. Hit the wrong button. Bulldozer blades replace big cats. So there you go. You can just pull it behind your tractor. That is pretty darn neat. Here's something somebody can use. He's got a snowblower tractor. Here Ron cuts a tote cages down to about 40 to 42 inches, but maintains the full height. Turns the cabs about 6 foot from the roof to the ground. Makes a cab for his lawn tractor with a snowblower. Wow, that's pretty cool. Here's a guy, he rakes modified to clean up landscape. When you want to leave a newly landscaped area track free, use your Rourke landscape rake. Wow. The former New Zealand horticulture, and landscape contractor spent a lot of time thinking about the best and most efficient way to wipe out wheel marks and leave every job looking tidy. Well, that's pretty cool. Look at that. It's got some rake things there, some little wheels, drags it in front of his tractor. Look at this. Plywood box uses a low voltage light bulb to keep tool batteries from freezing. Who hasn't had a tool battery freeze and then it's no good and you got to throw it away? So this guy just put a light bulb, put his batteries in there and leaves them in the garage. Look at that. Leroy Moper of Fredonia, Wisconsin, has made several of these heated battery boxes for friends who like not having to worry about storing tool batteries in their unheated shop. I used to keep all my cordless tool batteries in the house during the winter to keep them from freezing, but I knew it would be handier if the batteries could be stored in the shop. Of course it would. I've had batteries freeze before too. Retrofitted diesel engine burns ethanol. Well, whoever knew that a diesel engine could burn ethanol? Let's see what it says here. You can run, everybody talks about creating better ways to run your engine, and this guy actually did it. Anyway, so clear flame technology involves increasing the temperature to make ethanol ignite as easily as diesel. It includes re-engineered the fuel injection system for ethanol. Look at that. No spark plugs, and you can burn it like diesel. You can run your large diesel engine on 100% ethanol with a retrofit from Clear Flame Engine Technologies. Retrofits retain the high torque, efficiency, and durability of diesel engines without the cost of diesel fuel. In 6 years, the company has gone from the idea of test driving its concept, and it's close to bringing it to market. And this was back, it doesn't say what year. Does it? Oh, here. We plan to start selling retrofitting systems late in the second quarter or early third quarter of 2023. How about that? Setting the price on new technology is a challenge. He admits we're looking at $50,000 to $60,000 for engines. Wow! If you afford to buy an engine like that, then you won't have to worry about buying the tractor. You'll just be broke. Look at this guy. I think these things are just fun. I wanted to look at this tonight, and I thought, I'm going to look at it with all you, because, I was either not do a show or do a show, and I thought, well, I'll just, do this. Lindmeier's 1948 Farmall M uses 11 horsepower Honda engine and transmission from an old Crosley car. Well, his engine must have blew up, and he says, this is what I got. I'm making it. I saw a story of a recent farm show where a fellow repowered an H with a small engine power, so I thought I would share my Super M with 11 horsepower Honda motor, and who added a Crosley transmission to the tractor, all of which resulted in a low power 30-speed Super M. Lindmeier's grandfather, Richard, gifted him with the Super M in exchange for help during a harvest, so he got it for nothing. Cool. The tractor was missing an engine and had flat tires. That's the expensive part. The exchange included a full box of parts, but not all that was needed. I wanted something functional that would use all the gears, said Lindmeier. I looked around my shop and saw an old Honda GX 340. I decided to receive for payment after blah, blah, blah. So he put it all together, and he says, initially, Lindmeier planned to use a 4-speed out of a Jeep Cherokee. I had one of those. That was a pretty cool Jeep, too. Okay, what do we got? Clothing sweepstakes. That's all. A giant 3-axle forage harvester. Oof. Holy cow, that thing looks big, doesn't it? Robot loader tractor. Space age looking utility tractor needs no operator or even remote control. Developed by a tech company with all electric machine is programmed with details of the job to be performed, and then it determines the best way to do it. How much you want to bet AI is doing that? AI might be just running that little thing there. No need for a guy anymore, right? Here, field scouting robot. You never seen anything like this robotic field scout that walks through the fields detecting crop threats from disease, insects, and soil nutrient deficiencies. It maps fields covering up to 50 acres a day. It has 2 cameras that look under the crop canopy and sensors on the wheel spokes that come into contact with the soil. Wow, that's pretty cool. Robots that look at your soil and your weeds and your insects. Plastic farm gates. We've never seen lightweight gates like these, made out of tough poly. They range from size of 6 foot to 10 foot wide, strong enough to stand up to cattle or horses. Wow, ain't that cool? Interesting. Huh. Points to ponder. Organisms in nature have survived and thrived for 3.5 billion years, and they've done it without any kind of planning, or predicting of anything that we spend so much of our time doing. Wow. Isn't that true? No matter how much we plant gardens and seeds, and I know all you probably plant something or have planted something. The question is, nature's been doing it without us planting anything for millions of years. Isn't that something? Here, the only tractor in the museum is at Graceland is this 410 that Elvis used to maintain the property with. Ain't that cool? Elvis had a John Deere tractor. I love Elvis stuff. Who likes Elvis? I want to see a show of hands here. Gosh, darn it! I got Sirius Radio, and one thing that's always on is the Elvis channel. I used to listen to Tucker Carlson on at night about 7 o'clock, but ever since they took him off, it's all Elvis now. See, this 410 belonged to Elvis. We covered 24 farm shows in the U.S., Canada, Europe, looking at new products and ideas. I took the show. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, this is a joke. Who hasn't heard an Ole and Lena joke? Gotta love Ole and Lena, right? Sven and Ole were. I'll have to talk in my accent, eh? Sven and Ole were out on the country looking for a place to hunt. They pulled into a farmyard, and Sven went up to the house to ask for permission to hunt. The old farmer said, "Sure, you can hunt, but would you do me a favor? That old mule standing over there is 20 years old and sick with cancer. I don't have the heart to kill her. Would you do it for me?" Sven said, "Sure, no problem," and headed for the car. While heading back to the car, he decided to pull a prank on Ole. He got into the car and said, "That old coot said we can't hunt here, so I'm going to teach him a lesson." With that, Sven rolled down the window, stuck out his gun out and blasted the mule. He exclaimed, "There, that'll teach him." Suddenly, a second shot rang out from the passenger side, and Ole exclaimed happily, "Yeah, and I got that cow." So he shot the you get it? He shot the mule, and then he shot the cow. Ole, he knows his stuff, eh? Here we go on another one. Ole was driving his pickup erratically down the street, continually swerving back and forth till someone with a cell phone called the police. A police officer pulled the car over, Ole rolled down his window and said, "Officer, thank ya for stopping. I saw a tree in the road. Then I saw another one. So I threw a swerve back and forth till kept from hitting it." The officer looked at Ole and said, "Sir, that's not a tree. It's your air freshener." Nina, I'm sure you can appreciate these. Okay, another Ole and Lena. I love Ole and Lena. I just love sharing stuff with you guys. I hope you're enjoying it. A nurse at the hospital received a call from a very anxious Ole. "I'm diabetic and I think I had too much sugar today," said Ole. "Are you lightheaded?" asked the nurse. "No," said Ole. "I have black hair, but I don't see how that has anything to do with it." Oops. I got it right there. One Christmas morning, Lena decided she had no longer going to hound her children about sending thank you notes for their gifts. As a result, their grandmother, Hida, never received acknowledgement of the generous checks she had given little Ole and Sven. The next year, she started bragging to her friends after Christmas. "All the children came over to thank me in person this year," she said. "Wow," said her friend. "What do you think made them do that?" "Oh, that's easy," said Ada. "This year, I didn't sign the checks." Oh, Scotty boy, he'd appreciate Ole and Lena jokes. "Oh, it's cold. Don't you know it's cold out?" he says. "It's a cold out." Oh, anyway, okay. What do we got? Money making ideas to boost farm income. Cookie decorating, a fun side job. Yeah, who knows how to make cookies nowadays? I do. I can make a cookie. Anybody else know how to make cookies? Selling cookies locally and teaching classes has become a creative sideline business for a mother who works full time from her West Fargo. Hey, that's from North Dakota. Home in market development and communications for an agricultural business. Her husband Kelly's skills and 3D printer also make it possible for her to have huge inventory of cookie cutters that she designs. She takes inspiration from others. Yes. With her work and background growing up on a dairy farm, she decorates many cookies with farm related themes. Look at that. Ain't that cute? Who doesn't like decorated cookies? Now remember, you see something you like and you want me to read the whole thing, just let me know and I will do it. And if you want to join me and talk about this cool stuff because you're just into that stuff, you just let me know. And put I'm giving you a link there. Just come on and we'll talk about, this stuff like grain bin vacation condos. Now, who here has stayed in a grain bin vacation condo? Doesn't that sound like a fun thing to do? Business has been great, says Alyssa uh, Heelan, property manager of Clark Farm Silos at Caspell, Montana. Hey, I've been to Caspell. Have you? Have you been to Caspell? You know where Caspell is? It is next to a glacier. You got to go through glacier to get the Caspell, unless you're coming from the other side, of course. The 5 silo homes were previously 3,500 bushel grain bins on an Idaho farm. The bins were disassembled, hauled to Montana, and transformed into rental homes on an 80-acre Clark Farm property. The project was managed by Eli Clark, a graphic designer by trade who wanted to create accommodations that fit naturally into their farm operation, which includes peas, wheat, and canola, and a herd of Black Angus cattle. Each home features a loft, a bedroom with a king bed and one sleeper sofa, a bathroom, a fully functional kitchenette, a cozy patio, and a fire pit. Excellent views of the surrounding mountains in the Flathead Valley. It is very beautiful there. Anyway, yeah, it is really beautiful there. Wow. and they're getting rich off of this. Look at the silo homes are available to book on Airbnb.com and have space for a couple of with a child. Rental prices range from $150 a day to $400. Can you imagine that $450 a day to stay in a silo home? Come on. I mean, come on, that's like a whole month. That's like a whole month's rent. Okay, here we go. He makes his own liquid plant food. Who knows how to make liquid plant food? Oh, Eugene Hauser does. It is a fast method for brewing a nutrient-rich drink for his garden plants. It's a simple process that keeps Hauser's garden in good health. Healthy garden is the way to go. I grow vegetables in my hoop house. Garden beds and containers raise enough to take to the farm market from July to October, says Hauser. Between yard waste compost I get from the city and compost manure and liquid plant food, I've brought fertilizer from the store for he hasn't bought fertilizer for the store for years. Let's see. And then let's see. Remote meat lockers make buying easy. Look at that. Buy your own remote meat locker. How to run a successful farmer's market. Does your town have a farmer's market? If it does, I know mine does. It's September and July and whatever it is. It gets quite good, and we got a lot of vegetables and stuff. Okay, I put on the headset. Now I probably can hear you if you were there. Amber, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Now I can hear you. I didn't have the headset on. I'm like,
huh. That's okay. I didn't say anything anyways.
Oh, I was like, wow, I forgot to put the headset on. She's probably there, and look at Small Farmer sells attachments online. Wow. I'm sure a lot of us you're growing a garden. I seen pictures of it. You had a whole thing of that. You were doing a video, I watched it somehow. You showed your whole backyard and places where you're planting. How's that coming?
I am not doing a garden. I'm just doing flowers this year because I have that weed. I've talked about it a lot, so I can't.
That horrible weed. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend all that energy and just have that parasitic weed come and destroy it. So
yeah, I wish there was something we could think of to get rid of all that for you.
There's ways to do it, but it's
expensive.
No, it's just, lighting it on fire. Okay, cool. Well, I have a whole fence and houses next to me that I don't want to light on fire. So
no, don't worry. I'm only trying to kill the weed, but I burnt your house down.
Yeah. So, and then I don't want to put toxins in there. And there's flowers in there already that come back every year. And so I just kind of feel bad for putting chemicals on them and killing them. So I'm just not going to do a garden this year.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Flowers are good enough. At least it's all about getting into the ground and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Scotty Boy says, what are we reading from? We're reading from Farm Show Magazine. I bought the whole collection, 20 years worth, on PDF. And we're just scrolling through until we see something we like. If you see something you like, we'll just stop and talk about it. Look at this. I like it because it talks about everyday people and how they invent a career doing something totally different. Or they make things. Or like this lady here. Lawyer finds second career as a herb farmer. Isn't that crazy? Or like that last one where they took some silo things and they just made Airbnbs out of them. And they get $150 to $450 a night. Go figure. Oh my goodness. So she sells herbs. Let's see. I had about 2 acres of cleared land to work with, so I started 5 tomato plants in 2006 and quickly caught the gardening bug. Well, who wouldn't? Loves the garden. Her garden is grown with her addition of new fruit trees, bushes, and raised beds. By 2016, her husband asked what she planned to do with the herbs she was growing. and she sells them. She responded, assuming the process would be easy. Of course, never easy. She began by selling dried herbs on Etsy and found it challenging to compete with sellers who purchase their wholesale overseas. Yeah, that's the thing. They buy it over in China and then they bring it here and then they sell it as I grew it in my backyard kind of stuff. She does elderberries. Look at that. She does. I make elderberry tonic and with my uh, farm grown ginger and turmeric. Some of the elderberries come from my 35 bushes. Also, I have a source of frozen elderberries when I have depleted my inventory. Wow. She has apple trees, lilacs, selling flowers and essences from my her flowers. Okay, cool. Uh, did you ever you know what elderberries are? Do you not?
Yeah.
And have you ever had like elderberry syrup or made elderberry anything?
I've had elderberry tea.
Oh, that yeah, cool. Yeah, you can buy like elderberry syrup or tonic online, and I usually do that in the winter. It's great for um, keeping you healthy. It's
That's
really
why I
good.
drink tea.
Yeah, you can drink the tea and all that. When I was in Wisconsin, we had a lot of elderberries. Here in North Dakota, not so much. But look at here, growing edible cactus for food and profit. I didn't even know you could do that. The fruit and cactus pads often offer impressive nutritional potential and are used medically in many regions. Did you know that? I did not know that. Wow. Prickly pear cactus. I'm sure you got prickly pear out there, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
I
think we
think
got
I'm pretty
prickly.
sure that that was of the ingredients that was in one of Louis's medicines that I used to give him.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting. Um, yeah, because it's one of those things that just kind of grows wild. You can find it everywhere. Prickly pear cactus farming has not yet garnered mainstream attention, but it offers serious profit potential, especially for those in arid regions across the United States. The plant is native to the Americas and grows anywhere from Connecticut to Argentina. While the prickly pear is often treated as a weed and has many uses from human and animal feed, there you go, animal feed to natural fencing around gardens. They are hardy in drought conditions and can combat desertification, consequently improving the land. It's planted on the fruit and cactus pads offer impressive nutritional potential and are used medically uh, or medicinally, sorry, in many regions. Wow, I just learned something. Wow, that is pretty darn cool. Both prickly pear and cacti fruit and pads, known as nopals, are edible. Did you know that?
Oh
Huh,
yeah.
I didn't know
You
that.
just have to boil it in some situations, There's
Huh.
just you have to treat it a certain way.
Oh, really? I did not know that. I thought it was like I'm going with the part that I thought it was a weed. The pads are a common ingredient in many Mexican recipes, including curries, salads, and stir fries. And despite their prickly exterior, the cacti's young pads work as nutritious animal feed and can supplement up to 40% of a cattle's diet and 100% of the diet of a sheep and goats. Isn't that something? Wow, that is amazing.
It looks like prickly pear has magnesium, potassium, calcium. It helps with blood pressure. It has vitamin C for your immune system.
Wow.
And let's see, I'm pretty sure it's really good for your liver. It has flavonoids and pigments, which acts as antioxidants. So yeah, it's really good for you.
Huh. Well, no more pulling that out by the roots. We're going to save that stuff. It's kind of like dandelions. Somebody said something about dandelions here
Yeah, that's
earlier.
really good for your liver too.
Yeah, I know that. Kiki is gets the A star there. Dandelions, yes, and that's the thing. It's like we used to spray them and do all that kind of stuff and cut them and dig them up. I remember I worked at a golf course, and man, there's a dandelion. You'd go and dig it out by the roots and throw it out. And oh man, it's like, let's see. Scotty Boy says you can eat the fruit and the cactus leaves. We eat them around here a lot. How about that?
Yeah,
Well,
so
good
you
for
don't
you.
have to pull it out by its roots. You can just pull a leaf off, kind of like aloe vera,
Yeah.
or you can pull the fruit off and eat it that way instead of just totally pulling it out of its roots.
Huh.
So it
Interesting.
keeps the plants alive.
Nice. Profitable small farm built from scratch. Here's Jeff Hall and Cindy Hale produce a variety of infused vinegar and other products on their sustainable farm near Duluth, Minnesota. Hall also makes unique wooden items they sell at farmers markets on their website. See, it just proves that if you really want to have your own business, you can do pretty much anything. Let's see here in Evansville, Minnesota. Not many towns with a population of 600 people, which is a pretty small town. Evansville, Minnesota can claim a grocery store, much less one that is high tech and self serve. Customers who have paid the $75 annual membership can access the Main Street Market 24 hours a day. They use a phone app on their to open the door, scan their items, and pay. No phone, no problem. Members without a phone can use a key fob to get in. That might be something of the future. They are like, that's kind of retro. Interesting. Have a store with nobody there and you do it all yourself. Oh, that's almost every store now where you go and you ring your own products. Oh my goodness. Look at this. David Beekman sells his chickens through Market Wagon on online marketplace. Yes, young kid raising chickens. You got to hand it to the young kids who do these things. It's a lot. I've raised chickens in these chicken tractors like he's got here. It's a lot of work. You put a chicken tractor, you got to move that every day. You got to go in and fill these feeders. Your chickens are growing too fast, or they're freezing to death, or they kill each other because about these Cornish cross chickens. They grow so fast that their legs break on them, and they literally, I've watched them eat or watch them have heart attacks right in front of me and die.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they grow so fast. They just, they'll just start flopping over and, like having convulsions, and they start turning blue, and then they just die. And you're thinking, wow.
We used to have on our ranch, or actually it was yeah, it was a ranch. We had a bunch of chickens and a rooster, and all the chickens pecked out the rooster's feathers,
Yep.
and he was bald one morning. They plucked them all out, poor guy.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them do
They
that.
didn't like him for some reason.
Yeah. That is true. Um, Hens, so like if you got one rooster, he's usually accepted by the hens, and then he guards those hens. And if you get a second rooster, then they kind of divide up into two little groups. And if you get a third one and there are not enough hens to go around, or the other two are mean, they will just chase him down and kill him. Or if you get a hen, like I know my hens, I got kind of too many in this one small area, and they like pecked all the feathers off the top of each other's heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but hey.
That's what that's the whole meaning of pecking order.
Exactly. Some of them, I wish I had a rooster. I don't have a rooster, because if I did, and I got a couple hens that are real good sitters, and they sit all the time. They're always sitting on the eggs, and I gotta kick them off, and they try to peck me when I do it. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But look at this kid. He raises 300 birds a year. I raised like I think my biggest time was 150 birds, and
That's a
that was,
lot.
yeah, and that was a job. And this kid's doing 300. Holy cow! I got to give him credit.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know
lot.
that is. Look at this.
That looks like a drone.
Yeah, one man drone, perfect for farm use. Look at that. Ultra Recon light aircraft can be used in crop scouting, checking livestock or fences, and servicing irrigation systems when crops are high. Wow. Talk about interesting. One-man drone. Perfect. Anyone can fly this thing. You don't have to be a pilot, and it takes very little time to learn to operate, he says. This guy, Mick Cowiz, CEO of Rise Aero Technologies of Mason, Ohio. Hey, isn't that where the Wright brothers were? Taking off and landing the drone. The vehicle qualifies as a ultralight because it weighs less than 255 pounds and has a single occupant. Goes less than 63 miles an hour and therefore doesn't require a pilot's license. Look at that. Ain't that cool? Look at Cozy says the MSRP for a unit is well, yeah, but if you're gonna afford $150,000, you won't need it for your farm if you're rich. And let's see, the features it goes including up to 25-mile range and ability to operate on both land and water. 6 independent propulsion systems with rechargeable batteries. Interesting. Very interesting.
What does it do, though? What's the point?
Well, I suppose it doesn't travel really high. It's easy to operate, so you could get in it, fly across your farm without making tracks through the field, especially if it's muddy or something. You could get to one area, just shut your drone off and fix your fence. You could inspect your crops by flying over them or hovering, so you could see.
It'd be a lot faster.
Yeah, you could see damage and things like that.
I was watching somebody, this one channel was building a drone for intruders with companies, and they made it to where it had an alarm on it, and it was super loud and really bright lights. And also they made it to where like it would splash paint on the intruder. So if they got apprehended, then the cops would know that that was them.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. That is. I mean, think of all the stuff people think of. That is pretty swag. Once you got paint on you, you know, you're marked. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Made it myself garden tools. Who hasn't made a kind of a garden tool that they like? Homemade garden tools might look a little crude, but they make planting our quarter-acre garden a little easier, says Steve Faber, Tiffin, Ohio. One quick and easy idea helps to measure row spacing. I mark off the handle of my hoe in a 6-inch increments so that there's no need to carry a measuring stick. Well, that was simple enough. I think that anybody could get an idea out of that. I make a row covering tool from scrap steel. Saves a lot of bending over and when going back down the row to cover the seeds. Look at that. That's pretty ingenious. Yeah. A pipe and a piece of angle iron and two little makes the furrow and covers it back up. This here, when I was a boy, my uncle always worried about driving his pickup truck over planted rows of beans until he noticed one year that the beans he drove over were always the first ones up. So I made up a device using a car tire and a rim to go over the top of the garden rows. After they're planted, this tire and rim are just the right weight to firm up the soil and also to crush any clods on the rows. Well, that's pretty ingenious. Good. Just put a tire on a thing and just roll it over your rows and your beans come up faster. Huh. Air-filled curtains keep dairy barns comfortable. Huh. Polymat's insulated factory sets apart from its competitors 2 extra feet of mat in each kit and seals snugly against the wall and makes it waterproof and airtight, helping maintain the desired temperature. Huh. Well, don't have cows, so don't have to worry about that. New and improved, a recoil post driver. Oh boy, have I pounded the post. I just read about Scotty Boy says, I just read an article about the 3 sisters. I hope they were good looking. No, I know what sisters you're talking about. I just had it's Scotty Boy. I gotta go with that. Anyway. Yeah. But anyhow, yeah. New and improved recoil post driver. Oh man, I've had so many post drivers and they're so heavy. Have you ever used a post driver like that to pound posts? Oh yeah, really? Yeah. Oh my gosh, you
It's
do
a
that
little
for
much.
yeah. By the time you get done with the end of the day, your hands got blisters, your arms are so sore, and you're
Yeah,
thinking,
it's a lot of work. It's really hard on your body.
yeah, yeah. But you know what? The neatest thing I seen was they got new things nowadays, and um, I was out at this guy's farm, and we were pounding posts. So all day long for days, I pounded posts and fixed the fence. And then he goes to town one day after pretty much I got all done, and he's gonna make some more fencing, and he buys this post pounder, then mounts on his skid steer, and he goes up there, he puts the post in there, and goes boom, 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 in. I'm like, oh. Then he gets another. He's like, hey, this works really good. So he goes to town, and he gets another post pounder, and this one you just take one of those big, 6-inch wooden posts, and you put that under the thing, and it pounds that in without even digging a hole. It just goes boom, 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 and it sinks it right into the ground. And I was like, I'm out of a job. Oh,
Interesting.
yeah, it was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I just stood there in awe. That guy was probably thinking, look at, he's never seen anything. He's just so
Well,
amazed.
yeah, because you'd been busting your butt for days trying to do just one or two posts, and this guy
Oh,
just comes in and does it quickly.
yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
cool, though.
Yeah, of course, he's probably spent $10,000 on the thing, but he just comes in, he puts that, he
Yeah.
had a big railroad tie, and he puts that under, and it goes boom, 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 and and within 15 minutes, he had it in the ground. I was like,
Wow.
oh, wow. Look at here. Driving a T-post is a lot easier with the Hammerhead spring recoil post driver from Shep Manufacturing. Now, I didn't even know they had this thing. Shep Servison made his first recoil driver in the late 90s. Yeah, see, he's thinking out of the box. He says the new driver is much improved, and unlike his first model, he has applied for a patent to keep it American made. Great. Good for him. When I started building my first model, local farmers liked it, and I sold several hundred, said Sherperson. When a large farm supply company started contracting with me in 2004, the business took off. Unfortunately for Sherperson, he had no patent, and after a few years, the farm supplier moved production to China. About a year ago, I was reading reviews of the driver on the internet, and it was rated 2 out of 5 stars, and due to the resistance from that spring, says Sherperson, I redesigned it so that after the first cycle, it lifts the 13.5-pound driver up on the coil. The user only has to concentrate on pulling it back down. Huh. Wow. Sherperson is confident his new design will be a big help to the elderly and less physically able. It also has an optional add-on weight, 2.5 pounds, for greater down pressure. Wow. I tell you what, I'd buy one. Dana seed cleaners use different outlets to clean seeds. There we go. I don't think none of us are cleaning seeds, but farmers nominate best and worst buys. Well, I had a wood splitter like this once. It was a pretty good one until it tipped over and busted some pieces. You miss being able to do physical work. Well, tell you what, uh, you know, physical work is good for a person. It is. Yes, I agree. I agree. Here, let's see. What do we got? All these little things here. I do a atomic compact. Let's find a good one here. I use a mower, several building sites, and even pastures. It's a mean machine. This one's got a camera. Remote camera can be mounted to show if equipment is working properly. Yeah, just like in your car. I want to back up, and those little rear mount cameras. They are pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps you back up, especially to like the ball hitch or something. Let's
Definitely.
see. Let's see. What do we got here? Steam cleaner, Best Buy. Let's see. What do we got here? This looks interesting. Steve Lamb of Springville, Iowa. My Best Buy is this extractor. It was featured in volume 46. I had volunteer cedar trees in the pasture. It is easy to use and effective on young saplings. I cleared the pasture and fed row.
Volunteer trees?
Yeah, I think he's talking about trees that just sprout up.
Okay. Okay.
On their own.
Okay. Okay.
Because yeah, I've had those happen.
Gotcha.
Um, I cleared the pasture and fence rows of cedar and maple, plum, mulberry, etc. Gentle, steady pressure instead of pulling prevents breaking. Yeah. Boy, I
Hmm.
tell you, yeah, because if you start pulling the trees by the roots, oh man,
The
they'll
roots
just break.
stay.
Yeah, and then you break the top off, and then
And then you got a whole bunch of roots just kind of inhabiting the ground. You can't plant anything under it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Lockjaw pliers, a best buy. A pair of vice grips. Who doesn't need
Hmm.
that in their toolbox? Get them in Amazon. It says he likes Zep for stuck nuts and bolts. Yeah, this Zep stuff works pretty good. It's hard to find, but it works pretty good. Um, what do we got here? Best Buy Weed Zapper. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Adam Blissell has been using the Weed Zapper on his crops to control weeds for 2 years with good results. I bet you ain't using chemicals then, huh? I love the Weed Zapper that kills tall growing weeds with electricity. It is
Ooh.
a great tool on our 2,800-acre organic farm. Well, yeah, that sounds really good. I never thought about zapping the weeds. I have
Mm-hmm.
friends who are using it on their conventional farms to fight herbicide resistant weeds. Some of them do custom work to help recover the costs faster. Oops. Um, until we bought the Weed Zapper, getting late season weed control out of our fields was increasingly difficult. On our only option was manual labor. Yeah, you don't want to go out there and pull all day. Challenging to get enough help to cross. Yeah, you can't get people to do that. You know, who's going to go out there and do that? Conventional guys could spray 500 to 700 acres a day, but it was relying on guys walker to walk ours. Even the good crew, if we had bad weather, we couldn't always get around the fields fast enough. Yeah, that goes because weeds grow
They
fast.
grow back so fast. That's the frustrating part.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I wonder if it has
Or
some kind of sensor or how does it know between the good plants and the weeds?
maybe we raise mostly corn, soybeans, black beans, and pinto beans, as well as butternut squash. And it works on everything except the corn. I go in with the weed zapper right after the crop canopies and get the weeds that stick above them. Oh, so anything that grows taller. So, like if you got the beans, you know how you get
Oh.
them weeds that grow above them. So I suppose it
Mm-hmm.
just zaps the tops of them. It works great on broadleaves like lamb's quarter and even sets back foxtails in some cases. It'll brown the foxtail and keep it under control. It keeps the fields clean and kills off the weeds that before they go to seed. We haven't had any problems. We brought it home and mounted it on the tractor and it went to work. When we have any questions, needs, or parts, the company has been very supportive. Well, I suppose, see, it just kind of, from the picture, it just looks like it just sets just above the top of the plants. So if you got a weed that's taller,
That's cool. You can just mount it on the tractor too.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Wonder where they get all the power for that. Oh, I suppose it's probably like a fencer, volts, not amps. You know, uh, stand,
Gas.
stand on an electric cart invented for turkey barns. Oh, that's kind of cool. Shut up, dogs. What? Oh, this is kind of cool. Kruger made an extension from his 3-inch box tubing to mount the power head from an old DR trimmer head to side of a zero turn. Look at that. When your zero turns goes to heck, you can mount trimmers on the bottom and use that. So for a self-propelled string trimmer. Who'd have figured? This is kind of a cool thing. Look at this. Looks like a little motorcycle with a dump box. 1,000-watt powered cargo truck from Safer Wholesale. Cargo hauler powered by electric trike. This 60-volt, 1,000-watt electric powered cargo truck from Safer Wholesale is a small hauler's dream utility vehicle capable of hauling 400-pound payloads plus 265 pounds of passengers. Well, that's room enough for 2 thin people or 1 big guy. 15-mile
What's the
max.
back for?
The back, that's like a little truck. That's like a dump box or something, that looks like.
Oh, okay.
And then you sit up here and drive it like a little motorcycle like
And it's
that.
kind of like a weed whacker underneath.
Oh, this thing? This is
Oh,
the
I'm looking
lawnmower.
at
This
the
I'm
other
talking.
one.
Yeah, yeah. This here is like a like one of those zero turns, and the guy mounted weed whackers on the bottom of
Oh,
it,
okay.
so you can weed whack the weeds with a string trimmer. That's kind of cool. Oops. You can buy this electric trike for $6,199. And then of course you got his weed whacker thing. He just kind of made it from parts he had.
Hmm.
Here, museum celebrates Froelich, founder of the modern tractor. Huh. Froelich and his gas-powered traction engine are featured at the museum. Where is this at? I'd like to go there. The birth of what we would eventually become the John Deere tractor took place in 1892. John Froelich invented the first gasoline-powered traction engine that could be driven forward and backward. Wow. That when he did that, that was the end of the horse. Well, you know what my grandma always told me? She said when my grandpa got his first tractor, he um, sold the horses, and he said he's never going to get a horse again. I thought that was kind of funny, considering
Yeah, if you
afterwards that
don't have
I
need for the horse, then why keep it?
yeah, well, yeah, well, according to what she said, he really didn't like horses, and then it was so funny because he'd gotten rid of the horses and had the tractor, and then when I was growing up, then I took over the farm, and then I got horses. I was
I love
well,
horses. I like
I
them
was
for my own
yeah,
selfish
and
pleasure.
oh yeah, and I had a team of horses, and I skidded logs, and took I had a big wagon, and I would go up and down the road and give wagon rides and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
I had a team of mules, and I had a
I
team
heard
of
mules are really smart. They're like
yes,
a mix between donkeys and horses, and they're really smart.
yes, they are. They're really smart. Trust me, boy. You don't want to piss a mule off, or if they get tired, they they're done.
They're
Whereas
done.
a horse will work until he drops dead. A mule, yeah, a mule will say, "I'm tired. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it anymore." I'm trying to find out where this is. Museum is 8 miles west of McGregor. The museum contains many artifacts. Um, don't know where this is. It doesn't say, John Freely. The company intending Waterloo, the Waterloo Gasoline Traction Company. We should
Canada?
talk.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one again.
Oh, the scale, Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company. The company lost its investment. This is a pretty cool article. Gear bought the Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company for 2.5 million in 1918, which in today's economy would be about $40 million. The sad part of the story is Froelich, despite inventing the tractor engine, didn't see a single penny from the sale or make any money off his invention. Doesn't that always kind of work that way? I did all the work, and then somebody else took over, and they made all the money.
Ugh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I feel bad for the
Stealing
guy.
ideas.
Yeah, I still don't see where it says.
I
Why is
think
it
it's in
talking?
Iowa.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. I didn't read
water.
the whole thing, but I did see on the bottom it said Iowa.
It does say yeah. Maybe it is Waterloo, Iowa. I know that, but could be Waterloo,
I
Iowa.
don't know.
Oh. Well, maybe we can look that up one of these sections. This guy was yep. Why they use donkeys on cliffs, horses will walk right over. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Donkeys won't.
wow.
Yes, he is exactly right. Donkey don't want to kill itself, or mule and donkeys don't want to kill themselves. A horse, I went out to the mountains. My horse got scared of something, jumped right up, and fell off the edge of the side of the mountain. And then
Yours
luckily,
did?
yeah,
Oh my
um,
goodness.
it was the pack horse. So I was riding one, and my buddy was riding the other one. We had one pack horse, and the horse seen a little water on the trail, looked down and went, "Oh my God, it's water! I got to jump over it," and jumped. It jumped right off the
Right
cliff,
off the Oh my goodness.
and and of course, once it got off the cliff, well, and it's started, it was unbalanced. It started going down the cliff, and luckily it hit a tree and it flipped over on its backside, and then, it was kind of stuck there. And we went down. The other horses just stood there. We went down the cliff and rescued the horse and got it back up. I'm pushing on the butt, and he's pulling on the head, and we had to take the pack off, and then we had to get it back up on the trail. By this time, the horse is just sitting there shaking. It was terrified, so it's just shaking. And then we put the pack back on and went and gathered up all the stuff. I'm sure we lost a few items, and and we continued on because there was nowhere else to go. Either you go up the side of the mountain, which was steep, or you go down the side of the mountain, which was really steep, and into the river below, which was like the Three Forks, and then or you continue on the trail. So those were your only options.
So it was okay though.
Yeah, luckily we survived. The horse didn't get killed. Later, we talked to one of the park rangers, and he says, "Oh yeah, that happens. A horse will fall off the cliff and get killed." And I says, "Oh man."
They're more focus driven and not so much intelligent driven.
Well, the bad part was, he says, "Yeah, after a horse dies up there and is on the side of the hill, we have to go out there and dispose of the body." I'm like, "What do you do? Go out there with a forklift and pick it up or drag it back?" "No, we go out there with dynamite and blow it up."
Oh, wow. I mean, I could see that. It's probably a lot easier doing it that way.
I says, "Why do you do that?" And he says, "Well, because otherwise it attracts wolves and bears and coyotes, and they're all sitting gardening and people come by, and the next thing you know, they're all getting, what I mean."
I had a horse save me before when I was a kid. We were riding, and my stepdad was in front of us on his horse. I was in the middle on my horse, and then my mom was behind me. And my I've said this before, but the saddle didn't have a back strap on it, so it was kind of flinging around everywhere and floppy.
Yeah.
And it started to kind of it started to shift to the side where I was on the side of the horse. Yep. And I fell off, and she knew that there was a horse behind me, so she used her head and pushed me out of the way so that I wouldn't get trampled. So that was cool. So they're not that stupid, but they're not the smartest either.
they definitely know. Yeah, I know. I had that happen plenty of times on trail rides. Oh, I remember this one time, and this was so funny because I used to take out trail rides for a living, and I was at this ranch, and I was a really good trail guide, and it was winter time, and this family was out, and we were going, and I don't know what happened, but this horse did something, or the saddle slipped, and the kid fell off, and I jumped off my horse so fast, I picked that kid up, threw it back on the saddle, and tightened the saddle up. That kid didn't have time to scream or cry or nothing. And the dad looked at me, and he's like, "That was just amazing." He says, I didn't think she'd ever get back on after she fell off, and you just threw her back up there, and now she's up, and thank you.
Kind of like brushing off the dirt and getting back on the saddle. Yeah. That's that old famous saying, get back on the saddle.
Well, and kids nowadays are so wussy like.
Puss.
And they fall off or something, they don't want to get back on, they'll cry, and then parents are wussy too, because they'll be like, "Oh, they're hurt, we need to go to the hospital or something," and the kid just fell off, for God's sakes. It's just got a little dirt on them, "Oh, we gotta have it checked out." And I'm so glad I'm kind of not into that, because people were getting awful weird about that. Whereas back I remember I was taking these kids out. There was like 4 or 5 high school kids, or maybe they were just in college or something. They were 20, 21. And this one girl, she was on her horse, and she ran into a fence post or a stick or something, cut her leg right through her pants or whatever. Maybe she had shorts on or something. She cut her leg really good. And got back to the house, and I got everybody off, and she had a pretty good cut. I took I hosed her off, took the garden hose, and I sprayed it. She was a good sport about it. It hurt like the dickens, and she was crying, but I hosed it off with the hose really good. And then I sprayed it with some wound powder, that charcoaly wound powder that
Mm-hmm.
clogs up the bleeding. Sprayed it with that, and I said, it stopped bleeding. And oh, look at that. She was like all happy and everything. But you know what happens to wound powder after it starts to dry?
Does it start to flake off or what?
No, it turns into like a little rock. It's like a bandage. It's just charcoal,
Mm.
powdery stuff, and then you spray it, put it on the wound, and it's a blood. It clogs the blood up, so it
Mm-hmm.
makes a patch, and you put it on the horses and animals. It's just charcoal powder, and put that on, and well, you're pretty good. I says wash it off, put some bandages on it later or something, and da da da. You'll be fine. She, they left a little. About 2-3 hours later, I got a call. She's at the hospital. They're like, "What did you put on this? It's like stuck to her skin and in her wound." And I'm telling them it's this wound powdery stuff. And we got to pick all of that out.
I mean, do they though?
They did. They had to pick it. That's what the lady was saying. And she says it's all stuck to her skin, and we got to remove all of that so we can put some. I'm thinking, oh my God, that must
Well,
be.
you should have said, "Well, you're welcome," or else she
Yeah.
would be bleeding still.
Well, and then the lady's kind of mad at me because she's like, "You should have just sent her to the hospital first." That was the.
No, no, you definitely helped from infection getting in there for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I would have done for myself. I would have
Yeah.
just sprayed
Mm-hmm.
some stuff on it, and well, tomorrow I'll, do whatever. I'll wash it off again and put some bandages on it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Not for that lady. Oh yeah, look at this. Ground fence protects against bears and other predators. Yeah. Alternative electrified orange, non-electrified green ground stands animals are shocked when they make contact with. Well, that'd be good if you were in an area with bears and stuff. Look at this. When your old trampoline goes to heck, you can make a trampoline frame and turn it on side and help with the feeding of his goats. That's right. The neighbors here had a trampoline a few years back, and it was sitting in their backyard. And we had one of the, it's North Dakota. We had a big windstorm, and their trampoline disappeared. And they, hey, we lost our trampoline. Have you seen it? Nope. And a couple days later, I'm like, oh, I found it. It's a mile away, sitting in some farmer's field. I don't know.
It flew out. It flew away.
Yeah, it flew away. I'm like, how the heck did it get there? I have no idea.
What's a skeeter?
A mosquito. Mosquito.
Oh, good lord.
I know. I got them in here. I've been swatting them because of.
Oh my good.
I
No,
got the
no, no.
I
Because
got the
that's the
door.
one bug I will kill, along with like black widows.
Yeah, I don't like spider. I don't like spider.
Yikes.
I can deal with mosquitoes, but spiders, I am not a spider guy. Okay, we're gonna do one last one here. A bowl bent 3/4 inch light walled conduit and bolted it to a bracket on the top of a trimmer and flattened one end of the conduit to fit under the trimmer. Look at that. You don't have to bend over to trim stuff. Look at that. Pretty ingenious. Put the handle up here, and he just probably walks along and cuts his grass and his weeds and all that good stuff. Nice. I had one. I still have one of these trimmers like that. That's pretty ingenious. Pretty good guy. Look at that. Smart people. Robot pollinator eliminates need for bees. Yeah, if they keep killing all the bees off, you might need one of these. Wow. Shakes the plant to make the pollen go places. Ain't that neat? Well, tell you what, we're going to end there. We've been on here for a little over an hour, and I'm going to call it a good night. I got a pizza in the oven that's cooking, and I'm going to take it a little easy, read from my book, and I will be back tomorrow night with David Null for Native American Myths and Legends. Thank you, Amber, for coming on. It's always a joy to have you on and carry on a little good conversation, especially with this stuff. I mean, you're like I would say almost like a tomboy girl that can relate to this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. When they see you, you don't look like a tomboy, but I tell you what, you're you know all about this. That's really cool.
Yes, I do. And I love it.
I know that.
Thanks for
That's
having me.
that's awesome. Okay, everyone, remember, go out, do something nice, be generous to people because that is spreading the love frequency. And remember to be the frequency you want to receive, everybody. Love you all. Peace, everybody.
Peace.